Flick through the module and find information about 3 famous millionaires, a short text about choosing the right career, an article about 3 people who have unusual jobs, an article about mass media studies, an essay discussing the advantages and disadvantages of students having a part-time job. In this module, you will talk about work and education, learn how to use appropriate tenses to link a past with the present, learn how to write a letter of application, learn how to define people, places, things, and ideas, and give additional information about them, discuss issues related to foreign language learning, differentiate between British and American English words, express opinion, make suggestions, and express criticism or regret. Learn how to write an essay expressing opinion, acquire skills and strategies that will help you in exams. What does success mean to me? To me, success isn't just about reaching a finish line. It's more like a fulfilling journey. For a long time, I thought success meant having a high salary or a fancy job title. Now I see it as a balance between personal growth and meaningful connections. True success feels like waking up with a sense of purpose. It's about learning from failures without letting them define you. If I can look back on a year and see that I've been kind, curious, and resilient, I'd say I've been successful. In short, success is being content with who you are becoming, not just what you have achieved. In your opinion, what is the secret to being successful at school or at work? If I had to choose one secret, it would be consistency. Many people think success comes from a single moment of genius, but in reality, it's built through small, daily actions. At school, this means developing effective study habits. Instead of cramming the night before an exam, a successful student studies a little every day. They aren't afraid to ask questions and see mistakes as stepping stones rather than failures. At work, the secret is similar, but I'd add proactivity. Successful employees don't just wait for instructions, they spot problems and offer solutions. They build a strong rapport with colleagues because teamwork often outweighs individual talent. Ultimately, whether in school or work, being resilient and staying curious will always set you apart. What is your ideal job? What are the reasons for your choice? My ideal job would be something that combines creativity with problem solving, finding solutions to difficult issues. I've always been fascinated by the idea of being an architect. Why? Firstly, architects get to shape the world around them. Imagine designing a house or a school and seeing it become real. Secondly, the job requires a balance between art and science. You need to be imaginative but also precise. For me, a job that keeps both sides of my brain active would be incredibly rewarding. Ultimately, I'd want a career where I can leave a legacy, something that helps people in their daily lives. Can you think of any unusual jobs? Do you know any people with strange jobs? Absolutely. There are far more unconventional careers than people realize. Here are a few that I find fascinating. Pet food taster. Yes, this is a real job. Some companies hire people to taste pet food to ensure its quality and flavor are consistent. It sounds strange, but it's a serious role in food safety. Odor judge. Have you ever wondered who tests deodorants or air fresheners? Professional sniffers work for companies to evaluate smells. They have highly trained noses and can distinguish hundreds of scents. Professional sleeper. Some hotels hire people to sleep in their beds to test comfort levels. They check pillows, mattresses, and even the darkness of the room. It sounds relaxing, but they have to write detailed reports about their sleep quality. I don't personally know anyone with these jobs, but I once read about a man who worked as a theme park mascot. He said it was physically demanding because the costumes were heavy and he had to stay in character for hours in hot weather. It really made me appreciate how diverse the working world can be. 2. Reading for gist. Read the text quickly without paying any attention to the missing sentences. What are the 3 jobs described in it? Odd jobs, all in a day's work. Doctor, police officer, lawyer, teacher. Everybody has heard of these jobs, but the most interesting jobs are not always the most obvious. Here are a few people who think they have some of the best jobs in the world, and it is possible that you have never even considered them. Brad Cherendoff has enjoyed an adrenaline rush since he was a child. Growing up on a ranch, he had plenty of opportunity for adventure. When he was 13, he started competing in rodeos. He was immediately fascinated by the rodeo clowns. Rodeo clowns are an essential part of the sport of bull riding. During the competition, a cowboy gets onto a bull, which does its best to buck him off. The cowboy who can stay on the longest is the winner, but sooner or later, all of them fall or jump off the bull. To do this, they wear colorful, baggy clothes and may run in front of the bull or throw something at it. Naturally, playing with half-wild bulls is a dangerous job. So why does he do it? I put myself in danger to help others, he says. I also love entertaining the crowd. I've always been the kid who could make people laugh. Gus Wong is a fingerprint analyst at a police station. His job is responsible, though less dangerous than Brad's. Analysts use fingerprints to identify criminals. Criminals can move away, change their hair color, even their names, says Gus, but they can't change their fingerprints. That way, even if a criminal has changed his name, he can be identified. Many employers also require them to have a post-secondary degree. You need good computer skills, an eye for detail, and a lot of patience, adds Gus. I have analyzed thousands of individual fingerprints over my career. It is often exhausting, but I have seen many criminals convicted because of evidence that I found. Richard Beamish also works behind the scenes. He's a professional actor, but you won't ever see his face. Richard is a voice actor, one of the people who give their voices to characters in cartoons, video games, and commercials. Voice actors use their voices to help create a unique and interesting character. For the past 3 years, Richard has provided the voice of the character Twinkle in the children's television show Space Club. Most voice actors don't get hired to do cartoons right away. They need to get experience doing less glamorous work, such as recordings for commercials. However, this isn't the case with Richard. The director gave me a description of the character, a sketch of how he looked, and a piece of script. I created his voice from that, and they liked what they heard. Richard loves the experience of recording the shows. We start at 9 in the morning. I try to read the script quickly before we start, but I have been playing Twinkle for so long I know exactly how he should sound. We sit in a circle with our mics, and then the silliness begins. Comprehension questions. 1. When did Brad start competing? 2. Why are rodeo clowns necessary in rodeo competitions? 3. Why does Brad do it? 4. Why is the job of a fingerprint analyst essential? 5. What kind of qualifications are necessary in order to become a fingerprint analyst? 6. What does a voice actor do? 7. What has Richard been working on as a voice actor in the past 3 years? 8. How did Richard get the job? 9. What is Richard's opinion of the job? 3. Reconstructing a gapped text. 6 sentences have been removed from the text on page 42. Choose from the sentences A to G the one which fits each gap best. You have one extra sentence which you do not need to use. When you are presented with a text from which sentences have been removed, first read the whole text in order to get an overall idea. Read the sentences before and after the gap and the sentences that have been removed from the text, looking for clues in both the text and the sentences. The correct option must logically complete the writer's meaning and grammatically fit the gap. Pay attention to sentence linkers, moreover, on the other hand, as a result, etc., and reference items, he, it, this, there, etc., and identify what they refer to. This will help you understand the text. A. He compares the prints found at a crime scene with those in the police database. B. That gives him a sense of satisfaction because he is helping make the world a better place. C. He got his present job through an audition. D. Fingerprint analysts need to take a special course to learn the skills needed for their job, which they may do at a college or through the police station. E. He learned to ride a horse when he was about 2 years old. F. He has received 20 broken bones, 4 concussions, and has needed stitches more times than he can count. G. The rodeo clowns distract the bull long enough so that the cowboy can get away safely. Four. Guessing the meaning of unknown words. Look at the following words from the text and choose the correct meaning A, B, or C. Essential, line 7. A. Unnecessary. B. Important. C. Exciting. Baggy, line 13. A. Tight. B. Small. C. Loose. Identify, line 23. A. Understand. B. Arrest. C. Say who somebody is. Convicted, line 34. A. Found guilty. B. Set free. C. Arrested. Glamorous, line 46. A. Unusual. B. Attractive and exciting. C. Well paid. Five. Post-reading. Which of the 3 jobs mentioned in the text appeals to you most? Why? What's more important, money or job satisfaction? Why? Which 3 jobs do you think are the most important in society? What makes them so important?